Hi, and welcome back to Scratch. Today, we're going to make cheese ravioli. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and share this recipe. For the dough, we'll need 4 eggs, 3 cups of semolina flour. If you can't find semolina, a good substitute is bread flour, and you can use all-purpose flour in a pinch, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and a teaspoon of salt. For the filling, we'll need a half cup of shredded mozzarella, 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan, a teaspoon of dried basil, an 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and 15 ounces of whole milk ricotta cheese. While it's possible to do this by hand, I'm going to be using a stand mixer. We'll start by spooning and leveling our 3 cups of flour into a mixing bowl. We'll mix in our teaspoon of salt, 4 eggs, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil with a spatula before mixing our dough on low speed for about 1 minute with the paddle attachment. Once a shaggy dough forms, we'll switch to the dough hook attachment and knead our dough on low speed with the dough hook for about 10 minutes. Then we'll empty it out onto a lightly floured work surface and continue kneading by hand for an additional 2 to 3 minutes before wrapping it in plastic wrap and allowing our dough to rest for half an hour. While our dough is resting, we'll mix together our cheese filling. We'll combine our 15 ounces of ricotta cheese, half cup of mozzarella, 2 tablespoons of Parmesan, teaspoon of dried basil, and 1/8 teaspoon of ground nutmeg until uniformly incorporated. We'll set this aside to fill our ravioli with. When our dough is finished resting, we'll fill a large pot 3/4 of the way full with water and place it on the stovetop over medium to high heat, adding additional salt to our water to prevent our pasta from sticking. While we're waiting on our water to boil, we'll cut our dough into quarters to make it easier to work with. We'll roll out 1/4 of our dough with a rolling pin until it's thin enough to insert into our pasta roller. We'll then run our dough through the roller at the highest setting 3 to 4 times, folding it into a rectangle between each pass. We'll then roll it through the next lowest setting 2 times and continue until we roll our dough about 1/8 of an inch thick. Once our dough is 1/8 of an inch thick, we'll exchange our pasta roller with our ravioli cutter. We'll place our sheet of dough into it and rotate the crank a quarter turn before adding the hopper and spooning our filling in evenly, about 2 tablespoons at a time, before cranking the ravioli through. If you don't have a ravioli cutter, you can pipe your filling onto 1 sheet of dough before folding it in half and pressing the edges together and cutting out your ravioli shapes with a knife. Once we've processed a full sheet, we'll place it on a sheet pan before continuing. We'll repeat the process until all of our ravioli is ready. If we have any leftover dough, we can freeze it for another recipe. Once molded, we'll prepare our ravioli for cooking. We'll gently press around the filling with our fingers to ensure a good seal, and cut between the perforations with a knife. Once we've cut our ravioli, and working in batches as necessary, we'll boil them in our water until cooked through, about 3 to 4 minutes. They'll float to the top when finished cooking. We'll remove them from the water with a strainer or a slotted spoon, and serve them with our favorite pasta sauce and garlic bread. I'm going to be using marinara. And remember, if you like the content, please subscribe.